Welcome to the Business as Unusual podcast. I'm your host, Rick Ivanovic, CEO and founder of TRG International. And with me today, I have as my guest, Debbie from Infor. Hello, Debbie.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for inviting me here.
You are welcome. You're most welcome. Now, Debbie, I know your job title is Senior Account Manager at Infor. That sounds like a really, really big job. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
I think it's the responsibility of the job. It's not really the title because of the coverage of the territory that I'm managing. Is a lot bigger than what I used to do previously.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And basically, my responsibility is really to take care of InfoSun system business for this territory that I'm managing, whether it's direct or indirect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all right, this big territory, how big is big?
So I'm part of the Asia Pacific region.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I am handling about 10 over countries.
Wow.
Yeah. And about 20 old partners in this region. Yep. So that's what I said. It's a big portfolio for me, but in terms of the responsibility in this territory, yeah.
Okay, so big role, big title, big job.
Not really a big title.
Okay, it's not big enough for all the territories you're doing. Okay, but all right, this didn't happen overnight. Tell me a little bit about your journey to get you to where you are today.
So I was actually from MNC company, one of the top 5 MNC company in IT. So I joined Infor back in 2020 during the pandemic time. And I was like an account manager / channel manager, but for Malaysia, where I was located. And after 2 years, and I got this opportunity where because of Sun System was spin off to become an independent business unit. So they offer if I'm interested to join this team. And I was really grateful and blessed to be in this team. Yeah.
So prior to Infor, you were at a big MNC.
Yes.
So one of the top ones in Malaysia, yeah?
Yes.
Equally big role?
Yes, but my focus was really managing the partners in Malaysia. Not just partners, but also the distributors. Yeah, but in Malaysia, yeah.
And prior to that?
Prior to that, I started my journey as a technical, or maybe I would say a programmer. Yeah, so I was a programmer for more than 10 years, and then I moved into doing pre-sales for one of the IT distributor company in Malaysia. And from pre-sales, I moved to do sales, and that's where I'm here now.
Okay, come on. Software development, programming, and sales. They don't usually go together, do they?
No, I don't. I don't think so. But I think it's because of the background that I have in technical. It helps me to do more better in sales because I will want to know a little bit more about the technical, about the solution, that before I want to sell the solution. Yeah.
But what made you? I mean, you picked programming.
Yeah.
To start off with.
Yeah.
You probably went to university, yeah?
Yes, I did.
And did programming, yeah?
Yes, I did.
All right. So what triggered this move away from programming? You're like, hey, let's do sales.
Because I wanted some change, and then that's why I started doing pre-sales. So it's a little bit more about technical plus sales, where you do a lot of pre-sales work, like selling solution and all that. So I started with pre-sales, and then I went into sales. So it's not that difficult. At least I have a path to sales, and then that's where I ended up now to do sales.
So what's the most favorite thing about what you do these days?
What? I think I'm doing things that I like to do. I'm passionate about my work, and also I'm passionate about the things I've been doing off work. Yeah, so that is probably what I love about now, what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it that you like doing right now in your current role?
My current role is really to help build the partners, basically the business for the partners, the partnership, and also really giving the right solution or the path for the customers that I have that I'm also managing. And also I think, solution is still a solution, but really whether they buy a solution, whether it helps them or not. Yeah, they can buy any solution out there, but whether it has been implemented correctly, whether it helps their pain point that they are buying the solution for, I think that is more important than just selling it. Yeah.
Now, going back to your journey, this conversion from being a programmer, developer, and then pre-sales and then sales, what advice could you give to, say, people who are currently in software programming at the moment and sort of saying, not too sure if this is for me?
I guess it's like what I said just now is you have to have a passion. If you are passionate about what you're doing now, then you should go on with it and set your goals and work towards the goals. Yeah, but if you have no passion and you don't love doing what you do, I guess that's when you need to think about what you like to do.
And so was that one of the reasons why you moved from development into pre-sales?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So you picked pre-sales specifically? Or was it an accident?
It was what I picked, actually. Yes, it was what I picked. Yeah, and I love it too. Yeah, and I was doing pre-sales for a few years, about maybe 5 to 6 years, and then I was offered to do sales instead because they said that you've been doing good for pre-sales. I think sales would probably fit you. Yeah, so that's how I ended up in doing sales.
And when they said that, did you believe them?
I hope so. At least I see I love what I'm doing now. Yeah, so I guess I'm doing the right thing now.
So they saw it in you.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
But it wasn't something that you suddenly thought, hey, I've been doing pre-sales, I want to do sales now.
Actually, I was looking out to do sales, but then I was offered an opportunity to do sales. Yeah. So to me, it's really not about what products and what solution you're selling. It's really about whether you are passionate about doing the things that you do. Yeah. So to me, it's very important. Yeah.
Now you mentioned before it's you can get a solution from anywhere, but it's how you're using it, whether you're getting value out of it.
Correct.
So tell me more about that, how your work sort of impacts that.
So far, in terms of my work, is it? Or life?
Oh, life.
Life. Okay. So to me, I have to stay very positive, I would say. Positive vibes all the time. Yeah. Because like I mentioned, I have like a big role, a lot of responsibility. And I really have to manage my time properly between my work and my personal time, right? So, and sometimes I can work till I forgot about the time. So I need to manage that a lot. And I think it's also same like when I sell my solution to my customer or to my partner, I make sure they have that. They know the value of it. Yeah, not just buying the solution because I want to close the deal for them and ask them to sign a contract. That's it. Yeah, I want to make sure that they implement, they gain the value from the solution, and it helps them. Definitely, they buy the solution because they have a pain point, right? And it helps them on that. Yeah. So, and I think also after selling a solution, it's also a support. It's very important, the support. Yeah, because there's so many solutions out there, right? But I also can buy a solution that maybe it will help. But I think it's also the support after the sales is very important for the customer or even the partner. Yeah. So I feel that I will be able to help them. And I really like to help people around, whether it's for money or not for money. Yeah. I want to be able to help people around me. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned before, like, one of the key things is managing your time between work, which is, it's a big remit that you have, a lot of countries to cover, a lot of partners and customers to look after. But, there's also life, non-work life. So how do you maintain that balance? What keeps you balanced?
I think I just need to be focused. Yeah. So I know that people who works with me knows I work very late in the night. So, and because they will be receiving a lot of my emails in the middle of the night, and they will ask me, why are you not sleeping? Yeah, so I need to focus and balance the time properly. So I have good timing schedule that when I get off work, what do I do after work, and then when I go back to work again, and then I make sure I will use that few hours to complete what I want to do, and then get some sleep, and then the next day starts again.
So it's being very focused. So you're very disciplined with your time?
I have to be disciplined.
Are there any tips that you can share with our listeners on, what tips and tricks do you use to actually manage your time?
Like I mentioned that I need to be focused, so I will be looking at what is my focus and what I want to do. So work is definitely what I have to be focused on. The second thing that I'm passionate about doing what I've been doing, is actually your area, So I cut down a lot of my casual meeting ups with friends and outing, just to focus my time on these two things.
Tell me about the non-work things then.
So I'm also an instructor for an area. I'm not sure you heard of this. It's called Area Arts. I'm an instructor of area arts.
Tell me more.
Maybe some people will call it area yoga, but it's not area yoga. It's area arts. So basically, it's like flying in the air. With hammocks. Yeah.
With hammocks.
Yes. So I have been teaching for maybe 5 years. Yeah. So that's my passion. So out of work, this is what I do.
And how did you get into that? Because maybe our listeners have never heard of this. I hadn't heard of this.
So it's actually a hobby. It was a hobby. And then I went into, from a hobby to teaching. Yeah, and then I participated in competition too, national competitions. Yeah, so now I'm still in teaching. And I have a lot of students that I've been teaching, and then they are also going for competitions and a lot more other things. Yeah. But this is really just from a hobby to a passion of teaching and also helping people who likes these sports, basically. Yeah.
So is this a very popular sport in Malaysia?
Yes, it is. Not just Malaysia, but actually in Southeast Asia. Yeah. And also I think in US, in Europe, it's very famous. Yeah. It's like circus.
Yeah.
Not, but it's not as so great as circus, but it's something that you can do in a studio.
Okay. So it's using, you said, with hammocks. Yeah?
Yes.
Is it also with rings and
the hoop? Yes.
The hoop.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the right word. The hoop.
Yeah. There is hammocks, hoop, and silks.
And silks.
Yeah.
And you focus on the hammocks.
I focus on all three.
All three.
Yeah.
And you said you competed, yeah?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yeah.
Where, in Malaysia?
No, in Philippines and in Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a national competition. So but that was back in 2019. So too old for this now. So
You still look very young.
I'm training the younger ones to go for the competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes.
is it a younger person or young person sport?
No, it's not.
Anyone?
I have a student who is 60 years old. Yeah,
Okay. So,
so-
age is not a limit.
Yeah,
to,
it's
to-
not.
to
Definitely,
doing
it's
it.
not. Yeah.
And I know a city in Vietnam at the moment. Is it in Vietnam as well?
Yeah, it is. There is quite a number of studios here too, but not as many as in Malaysia, in Thailand, in Singapore. Yeah.
And so, and how often do you do this? In your balance, what's the perfect balance?
Okay, so I do it almost 5 times a week.
Ooh.
Yeah, my weekends is definitely training for this, and then sometimes after work, so I will set my time. I work daytime, and then by the night time I will go there for 2-3 hours training, and then I go back to work again.
Wow. So, given you have all this country coverage, do you end up doing it in all the different countries as well?
No, I don't have that privilege. Yeah, I don't have that privilege to do it because of the time.
But is that an idea? Like, hey, when you come to Vietnam, you find a studio and you can throw in a class.
No. Not at this time because like I said, because I'm very focused. When I work, I work. When I do my stuff, like area stuff, I will just focus on area stuff. Yeah. So most of the time, my weekends will be more tied up with area stuff that I do. Yeah. My trainings, my classes will be all on the weekends. Yeah.
So what happens if you've actually got to do a lot of travel and go to a lot of these countries and you can't do your aerial arts?
Yeah, I can't do. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
But I usually don't travel during the weekends. I will go back to KL during the weekends. So it's not that an issue because I will still be in KL during the weekends. Yeah, maybe sometimes maybe once in a quarter that I will be traveling during the weekends. But most of the time weekends I'm back in KL. Okay. So it's not an issue for me. Right. Yeah.
So it's really, your trick, as it were, or your recommendation is to have something outside of work that you're really passionate about.
Yes.
And, that's what keeps you
yes.
grounded, even though it's aerial.
Yeah, it can be something else. It can be golf. It can be other sports. Yeah. I think it's very important to have something out of work. I mean, I work around the clock, but I know that I need to do this to balance out, to have a work-life balance. And I'll take a few hours to go and do this training for myself. And then after that, I go back to work. And I feel better after that, because I'm more motivated to do my work.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So what's advice that you would give to people if they don't have something as wonderful as that? If they don't have something in their personal life that they're really passionate about?
I think they need to go out and do things and find out what you like to do. Anyway, it can be a hobby. It doesn't need to be something that you are passionate about, hobby. Because over the years, I have a lot of hobby. I have the most hobby that everyone has. I've done rock climbing. I have done golf. I have done baking also.
Yeah.
I love to bake. I used to love to bake, but now I've been cutting down baking because I don't have time. So cooking maybe is also a good idea. Do something that as a hobby. From there, you'll find your passion into it. Yeah.
So you tried lots of hobbies.
Yeah, I do.
In search of what were you really, really, really passionate about?
Yes. I do. I do have a lot of hobbies, and I would say that I started quite late doing area, not very young. I mean, everyone is telling me, oh, this kind of sports you need to start very young, like maybe when you're teenage or maybe after school. I said no. I started very late, around mid-age. Yeah, but I'm still doing well.
And as you say, one of your students, she's 60.
Yeah, she's 60.
And what, did she just start recently?
Just a few years ago.
Okay, so it really age really is not a barrier
No,
to
it's
doing
not.
this.
Yeah.
It's just wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Whether it's at work or out of work, what really makes you smile?
Good question. I think for now it'll probably be, I would say for me, will make me smile is loving myself. Or I would say self-love that everybody is saying about, What I think you need to understand what is self-love. It's love doing what you're doing. Yeah. So this is what it gives me a smile every time, every day when I do, whether it's work, whether it's area stuff, it helps me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so tell me more about this self-love.
Self-love, I think a lot of people think that self-love is buying yourself gift or maybe treating yourself for good food, but I think it's really about loving what you've been doing, and then you're putting yourself as a priority, not other people, right? Because you love what you do and you're focused in doing what you love to do. That's very important as part of the self-love.
Why is it so important?
It is important because nobody will love you as much as yourself. I would think that is the way. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you love yourself, not with gifts and things,
yeah, not
but
with gifts.
love what you do.
Yeah, love what you do.
That's also sort of respect for yourself.
Yes.
And if you can do that, what impact does it have?
What impact does it have? I think it's to me now is very important is being happy, right? I'm very happy with what I'm doing, and also a lot of things that I've been doing is really to have to gain my health, right? Because I'm not young. Health is very important. If you don't have health, nothing you can do, right? So health is just not physically being healthy, but also mentally. So I think this is very important. So happy is when you are mentally healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to you, happiness is being mentally healthy.
Yes.
Now I'm assuming that these aerial arts is helping you stay physically healthy, but it's also fueling your mental
it
health
does.
as
Yeah.
well.
Even my work, I mean, there are a lot of people who has commented that I work long hours, and it's really a stressful job for you. But I feel that I'm happy doing it. I'm really glad to be in the team because I feel the team that I'm in currently is all about teamwork. Even though I have a manager or even I have a manager's manager, but we are all in a team. And I'm happy to be in this team.
So it seems that you're balancing. You found a lot.
I do.
You sort of found for yourself the key ingredients. So do you feel successful because of that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, successful is not really measured by how much you earn.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's silly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who thinks that being successful is you have money, you have a car, you have a nice house. For me, it's not that. I think being successful can be health, mentally, physically. Also, love what you do all the time. And also, I love my work because also my partners and my customers are really, really great. And the community is there, to help each other. So I'm really grateful for this.
It sounds like you are very successful. One of the key things, knowing that what success means to you. It's I like asking that question because one of the other hats I wear is I'm an executive coach. I'm a master coach, and I tend to coach high achievers or hyperachievers. And I know if I got a group of them in a room, I would ask them that question, you know, do you feel successful? Which might be a really stupid question to a lot of people because, well, of course they are, because they're all at the sea level, you know, they have all the, you know, visible signs of wealth and success.
Okay, yeah.
But when I ask the question, do you feel successful? It's very quiet because people have to pause and think.
Think about it.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what one of the problems is a lot of people haven't got the right concept of what success is. Maybe they don't know what it is. Whereas as you started, it isn't about money. So some people think it's about money and they've got a lot of it and they still can't answer that question. All right. So it's wonderful to hear that you've cracked that. You've got through all of that. And you say, well, yeah, this stuff makes you happy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And because you're happy, you're successful. I mean, it's like a flywheel. It's a self-perpetuating, which is absolutely wonderful. So for the people listening, they may be now looking at you, Debbie, and say, wow, she's super successful. She's super happy. You know, you've shared some of the magic ingredients. What advice would you give to people who are now looking at you and who are maybe just leaving university and thinking what their first job's going to be, and they're thinking, I want to be successful like Debbie. Okay, so what advice can you give them?
I think it's the same thing that I have been doing all this while. Like I said, I went to doing programming. You have to try what you think that you want to do, and then from there you will keep changing. You know. So for me, I'm ever changing. I'm okay to be accepting changes. Yeah. Especially when you are in MNC companies, they change every quarter, right? And I've been there like for 8 years. There were like 10 to 11 changes all the year. So I think it's really to adapt to the changes. Yeah, adapt to the changes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's go and find something you like to do. Yeah, like me, I've started as a programmer. Yeah. Programming, then I went to do support, and then from support I went to do pre-sales, and then pre-sales I do sales, and that's where I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And next?
Next, I think probably I will be planning my retirement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not another role change?
No, not really.
No?
Yeah.
Not open to change anymore?
I mean, definitely, if I'm still around, I will still be having changes, yeah. But I think definitely not a major change in terms of industry. It will probably be the same industry in IT, probably, yeah. But I don't see any kind of major changes for me in terms of my career.
So still in sales and sort of account management, looking after partners.
Yeah, I've been doing this for more than 20 years already, so I don't think I can go anywhere else. Yeah.
But, you know, you've heard it. I mean, the key is being open to change.
Yeah.
Okay. What would have happened if you hadn't been open to change, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think I have ever imagined if I would continue being there. Yeah, but I'm glad that I make the changes. Yeah. Because I don't want to be in somewhere that I am not happy with what I'm doing. I'm not passionate with it, and just going to work just to pay my bills. So I don't think that will be something that I'll be happy with.
That doesn't sound too fulfilling, does it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, just for paying bills, you have to get to work. Yeah,
that's crazy. No, I mean, change is important. It's one of the things I keep hammering on about. I say that we need to be architects of change, we can't just wait for change to happen and then react to it. We have to try and anticipate the change, because sometimes we want to create the change because we want to continue evolving.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and improving, and you may want to force some of these changes in your life to get to where you need to be.
Correct.
All right. So at the moment, you've established that really good balance between your work life and your non-work life. You've found things that you're passionate about in both, and sounds like you're going to maintain that balance. So do you have some quite strong boundaries around that on anything threatening that balance?
Yeah, correct. I think it's after what happened during the pandemic, I think a lot of businesses will change. I think the way we do our work now is also has been changed. A lot of my work is done from home. I work from home most of the time. And also I travel a lot. Not that I like traveling. I don't like traveling. I like going. I like traveling to meet people, to understand cultures and businesses. But it's just that I don't like that flight. Taking the flight and then waiting for the baggage. That's really not so good. And I don't like to be on a flight. So that's really
all right. Now, having said that, what's the most favorite trip that you've ever had?
Favorite trip? Trip as in business trips or as...
Whatever. Because I heard that you don't enjoy travel.
I don't enjoy travel because of the duration of the flight. And also the waiting for the flight, and then also the baggage, and then the immigration sometimes takes some time, so I just don't like that.
I know you don't like that bit, but has there been a trip that was the most favourite that you ever took, despite all of those inconveniences that sticks in your mind?
I think since I'm in Ho Chi Minh, I will say Ho Chi Minh. Probably it's because I've been to Ho Chi Minh a few times before my work here as an Infor sound system and taking care of TRG as a partner. I have been to Ho Chi Minh. I never really liked Ho Chi Minh. First, I never liked their food, and I never really think that. I know people who have the locals here, and also I don't. I mean, after Sun System, I have met TRG, the team of in TRG and the locals here. I love the food here. There's a few things that when I come to Ho Chi Minh, I will have, and also I think the team. That in TRG, they are so nice.
Thank you.
They have so
not me,
much.
them,
And
she agrees.
their hospitality is so good.
Okay.
So I love them so much.
So you like Vietnamese food now, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite dish?
I like pho.
I
I have eat pho for a long time, but I never liked pho at all. Only recently when I came to...
What changed?
I don't know.
Go to the right pho place.
Probably, I came here, I think last year when my first trip for business, I came here and I had pho with the locals here, and I love it. I never loved pho before. I mean, there's so many pho restaurants in KL, in other places. I've tried before, but I never loved pho. So this actually made me change because I never liked Ho Chi Minh. But now, if you ask me, what would be my first city in Vietnam, is definitely Ho Chi
Minh. Okay, now. This podcast is called Business as Unusual, so I have to ask you the question. What's the most unusual thing that's ever happened to you in business?
There's a lot. I don't know. There's so many things. Probably not currently, but over the years, I have a few unusual incidents that happened to me. Maybe probably I don't want to say name, where was I and all that. There was one time where I'm a salesperson, right? And I closed a deal, and obviously I have to follow up payment with the partner and the customer. But I got a lawyer letter for being threatened, for threatening them and harassing them. Yeah, I have a lawyer letter. They sent it to my company, saying that I have been threatening and harassing them. So the legal department actually asked me to prove the messages and the emails that I have sent to them. So I have forwarded it to the legal departments, and they were like, "You're just doing your job, right?" I said, "Yeah, exactly. My responsibility is, getting the customer to issue the PO. Yes, I follow up the payment. When are they making the payment? Then I can deliver the license to them." But they feel that I'm threatening and harassing them. Yeah.
Was that them trying to get out of the deal?
No, but they issued the PO. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. And then I have another one that there was a customer who locked me inside the meeting room.
What?
Yeah, locked me inside and asked me to give the discount to him now. If not, I'm not going to let you go out from the room. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's really unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, over the years, these are some of the... but I will always remember. Yeah.
And this is selling technology solutions, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly, And this is... it is actually a C-level someone who locked me in the room. It's just not like
unusual.
He's locking me, but because that the meeting room needs to have an access card. So I can't get out if I don't have an access card. So basically, he's locking me in the room. Yeah.
Well, that's how you felt.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Yeah. So that's unusual and rather unreasonable.
Yeah, really. That's why a lawyer letter for me threatening and harassing them.
Yeah, so sending you a lawyer's letter because we bought something from you. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, just because I'm chasing for payment, and this is what they send. In the end, they actually make the payment. They sent the lawyer the letter 2 months later. And I didn't have any, I wasn't even aware about this happening. I did not know they were thinking that I was threatening them at all until I got the letter.
But you weren't threatening them, were you?
I wasn't. I was just asking when are they going to make the payment because that terms has been already agreed and then you have to make the payment before we can actually issue the license to you, right? We need to process your PO, but the terms has been agreed. So they felt that I was just threatening and harassing them when I was just asking for payment. Yeah.
Well, I'm an accountant. One of the things that we have to do is we have to chase debts.
Yeah.
And I don't remember ever in any of the companies I've ever worked for received a lawyer's letter because they were upset because we were asking them to pay. It sounds a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's in your professional life. What about outside work? What's the most unusual thing that's ever happened to you?
Also, there's a lot, but there's not much that I feel is unusual so far. I mean, even though it's unusual, I accept it as a changes. Yeah, and because you can change if it's personal stuff, But I don't feel there's any unusual stuff that happens that I can remember.
Okay, that you can remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
This business, yes, because these two really shocked me,
Yeah,
until
shocked
now.
me. Shocked me. I think it shocked everybody
Yeah.
because they're so unreasonable.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any unusual stuff that I want to share from my personal life.
All right.
Maybe area arts is something that is very unusual for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So, but the fact that you don't see it as unusual makes you quite unusual.
Yeah, probably that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Debbie, for answering all my questions. I'll give you the opportunity for you to ask me one question back. I know that's unfair. You only get one question.
Only one question. I thought I have like 5 to 10 questions.
No, I'll give you one. Is there something you wanted to ask? Or is there a question that I didn't ask you that you wanted to answer?
I don't have any question that I would think that. I mean, I went through a few podcasts that you did previously. Yeah. And I think most of the questions are quite similar.
Oh, you were swatting up then. What I'm going to ask you.
Yeah. Maybe I would probably want to know how do you classify being successful? Because I think I mentioned about everyone probably have different classification about being successful. Like for me, it's not about money. It's not about whether I have a big title or I have a big salary. No, that's not for me. Yeah. So what would be your classification of being successful?
Okay, so that's a good question. Thanks for asking it and turning the tables, as it were. Well, I would agree with you. It's not money. It never has been. It never has been. And I have a horrible feeling, or not, I don't know. I may have a feeling that, if I measured my wealth today, it's actually less than it was 30 years ago when I started the company. So I spent 30 years not accumulating,
Okay.
So it wasn't for, I haven't been doing it for me. So what is success? I think I've only recently worked that out. Okay. Because if you had asked me that question a couple of years ago, I'd say I'm not very successful. Despite, we just celebrated 30 years in the company, and it's got rather large. So success to me today is about balance. Okay. It's not about achieving the things that I might have been schooled in that we need to achieve in order to succeed. And I was told, hey, you've got to work hard. You've got to get a degree. You need to get this. You need to get that.
It's things, like a process, right?
They're
Stage
things.
1, stage 2, stage 3.
Yeah. Well, that went out the window when I didn't even get into university. So I failed at step 1. Okay, so the rest was going to be a failure, right? So that's what my life was set up to be. For a lot of people, I've achieved an awful lot, but I never saw them as achievements. Okay. Or I never saw them, I didn't really see them as achievements, really being successful. So success to me now is I'm trying to achieve balance. I'm actually trying to achieve what you're achieving. Enjoy what I do, okay, if you want to call it work, but also enjoy what I do that isn't called work. So it's really you can call it a life balance if you want, but I don't like this balancing between life and work or work and life. I just call it balance because it's more than two things. It's many things.
Yeah.
So health is one. One of the reasons I recently relocated to Switzerland is because I wanted fresh air. I live in a polluted. We're here in Vietnam, and I'm sorry, it's polluted here. It's polluted here. I remember I did a post earlier this year. Sorry, Vietnam. That Vietnam got twice in the top 10 Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, both in the same month as the worst polluting cities in the world. Now I'm in Switzerland and the air's, very, very clean. I can be out in nature in minutes. I look out the window and I see mountains and trees and green. It's very quiet where I am there. In the city I've moved into, they've just grown. They're announcing, yes, we grew in size from 36,000 people to 40,000 people. I mean, there are probably more people in this district.
Yeah, that's
10
true.
million people in just in Ho Chi Minh City,
yeah.
which is more than the whole of Switzerland. So it's that connection with nature, being able to go out, go for a walk, or I like e-biking, e-mountain biking, go for a cycle, get that fresh air in, avoid all that pollution of noise and people. I get claustrophobic. I'm not really a people person. I'm a numbers person, aren't I? So I'm quite happy being a bit of a recluse.
That's good.
So there are lots of things in that part of my life that I enjoy. I'm obviously going to get a lot healthier as well, and I feel better if I can get out, do some exercise, go for a walk, go for a cycle. It's a bit like your aerial sports. I feel I can actually get back to it now. I have the energy.
Yes.
To
That's very important.
to do what I need to do. And also, I think that peace and tranquility gives me the mind space to think, to strategize.
Yes.
And that's what I should be doing. And I can do a lot more of that in my new environment. So to me, is that being successful? Yeah, because I found out. I know it's very, very late. Like your 60-year-old aerial artist, I don't think I'm going to go into aerial arts myself. But I'm older than her, even older than her, and I've realised that what makes me happy. I've worked it out. It's taken me too long. You worked it out decades before. Fantastic.
Not too long ago.
Good on you.
Not too long ago, just a few years back.
So that's my definition of success. It's balance.
Yeah.
And because I've got that balance, I feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
I feel that I've actually achieved something, not just in work, but out of work. It's not saying I'm not interested in the company or anything. It's not the sole focus.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Just as you've been repeatedly saying, it's a balance.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to balance, it doesn't matter what you are balancing. It could be 2 things.
Or
It
3
could
things.
be 10 things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You are balanced when you feel balanced. And when you feel balanced, you feel good. You feel happy. You feel successful. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're out of balance, then you don't. And I'm finding in a lot of the coaching I'm doing is people are out of balance.
Yeah.
People are out of balance. So I know we're coming to the end now, so thank you very, very much again, Debbie. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us on the Business as Unusual podcast.
Thank you.